And I recently only just figured out, well, I learned a very basic equation to figure out the difference between Celsius and Fahrenheit. So I thought I was going to get to use it then, but you use Celsius anyway.
Yeah. Celsius.
What is the equation?
Apparently, it's not 100% accurate, but it gets you fairly close if you double it and add 30.
You double
apparently
it
gets you it gets you within a couple of degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, that's quite easy to remember, actually. Yeah.
So especially for me, because I have no idea when it comes to Fahrenheit, so that was just a nice one to keep. It's not 100%, but it gives you a ballpark figure. Because when people say it's like 100 degrees in Fahrenheit, I always think, oh, that's how warm's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it is pretty warm.
That must be pretty warm. I was in Arizona once. It's the warmest. No one of those people who were actually living there were out. It was in the summertime.
Yep.
It's the first time ever I was panicking because of the weather conditions.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would be panicking too.
Yeah. It's like, I have to go inside. I have to go inside. Yeah, that was very, very warm, but that was like 45 degrees Celsius.
Yep.
I get like that if it's 25. I
Yeah,
have to go indoors.
Yeah, it's also too warm, really. But where are you from, by the way? Are you from Scotland?
Oh no, I'm from Yorkshire. So
okay,
like Leeds area. I think people who first hear my accent tend to think it's Scottish because it's quite strong.
Yeah, but it's a nice dialect.
And blunt sounding. Sounds like you've been hit with a bat. But,
no, it's a beautiful accent. Just so you know, everyone on the west coast of Norway, we think that kind of dialect is the best from England and Scotland and everything.
That's very kind of you to lie to me like that.
Yeah, but it's a nice dialect.
No, it's the Braveheart effect, right? We all saw Braveheart in the 90s and got enamored with Scottish and Northern English.
That's the reason. Oh my God, I haven't been. That's probably the reason.
Yeah,
I think back to some of the scenes, and like in Braveheart, and I was like, yeah, you immediately fall in love with them, like where when the Irish show up as well, and the Scots, and they're like sitting there together, and this one over here is like a crazy bastard, and they're all like being weird. Yeah, of course you're gonna love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I heard somewhere that the British accent is the most trusting to Americans.
Yeah.
Then in Las Vegas,
it's also it's both the one that Americans will trust the most, but also the one that Americans will consider the most arrogant and dickish. Like it's both sides.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the coldest as well. Like if a doctor, for instance, medically cold, if that makes sense. Like they should also have that accent, and so it goes in several directions, but what is really actually at the base of all of it is authority. That's what it means, right?
Really. And the bad guy, always the Hollywood bad guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The cold guy, the guy who has no moral capacities whatsoever. He speaks that upper class English dialect.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty crazy the amount of accents that we have in such a small geographical area, because you could travel 50 miles from me and the accent is completely wildly different, and then even up to Scotland it's a couple of 100 miles, if that, maybe 150 miles, and the accent is wildly different, and on the way you're going to pass through 2 or 3 completely different accents. It's pretty impressive how it changes in such a small it's the same
country. In Scandinavia, every little village has their own accent.
Yeah, but to me it all sounds the same. All right, I'm gonna do a quick intro, but I feel like we should probably just keep this in the episode anyway, because it's a nice little fun chat.
Yeah.
Shan, you can figure that out. Welcome to the Nordic Mythology Podcast. I'm Daniel Farne, owner of the company Horns of Odin, and I'm joined as always by Dr. Mathias Nordvig.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This time we are joined by Lindy-Fey Hella, who you might know as both her own. What do you call that? You're your own artist, but you're also the very beautiful female voice in Wardruna as well. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Thank you for joining us. I think I speak for both of us. We have probably a bucket list of guests that we like to have on the show, and we've ticked off a lot of them. And you were definitely on there. You were one that we really wanted to get. So thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
That's great. I didn't know that. I'm glad you didn't say that before, but then I would get nervous. But now we are already talking for a half an hour, so everything is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I mean, let's just start with how is everybody? What have people been up to? I mean, Mathias, you did your talk on tattoos at the convention in Iceland remotely because you couldn't be there.
Yeah. I was bureaucratically impeded, so I couldn't go to Iceland. But yeah, I did my talk on Zoom, and it went pretty well as far as I could see. Like, I got a lot of good feedback. Nobody was like, "No, you're crazy, shut up." So that's nice. But basically what I did was that I made a reasonable argument for why we could assume that people in Scandinavia did have a tattooing tradition also in the Viking Age. And yeah, people seem to believe it. So I'm going to turn that into an article.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems to be pretty much accepted amongst most people, I think, that they would have been tattooing to some degree.
Actually,
not to flog a dead horse.
Not in scholarship. In popular culture, people kind of assume that that's the case, but that's only because most recent popular fictions have presented it as such. Mm-hmm. But scholars are very, very skeptical about it, really. So that's also why it was kind of a big deal. I think that they seem to be accepting of my talk on that subject. So
well, that's good.
Yeah,
it's because you got my back in, that's why.
Of course. Yeah.
I also hope that you can share, so maybe you will do that, like how it might maybe look like then.
I can give you a short rundown of what I said at the presentation. So
yes,
the situation is that we have one literary source, Ahmed ibn Fadlan, talking about these Viking Rus in Russia, and he says that they're covered from the nail to their neck in tattoos of verdant trees, and I think also he mentions animals and such things. And that's the only source that talks about Vikings being tattooed. And he's writing this in 922 approximately. So right at the height of the Viking Age too. And scholars have then debated, well, is he actually talking about tattoos, or is he talking about some kind of like body paint? Is he just using a literary trope that he's got from the medieval and Middle Eastern and Mediterranean social context, where you do find people with tattoos and body paints of various kinds? Like, is it like a heathen savage trope that we see a lot of in medieval literature in general? Or what is he really, what is this about? And most scholars have had a tendency to discount when he says that they're tattooed, because they just don't really think that it's that reasonable. Now, my argument is that we have several European sources that actually demonstrate the existence of a tattooing culture in Europe in the Bronze Age and up until, you know, the material finds, right? They are available up until the 500s BCE. For instance, we have tattooing needles from Denmark from the Bronze Age. So we have concrete evidence that Scandinavians tattooed. They just didn't do it in the Viking Age. But after those, when the material culture ends, so to speak, that's when we have literary reports for the next 1700 years, like different authors in Europe talking about different peoples. Usually they're talking about the Gaelic-speaking peoples in the British Isles, but they're not only talking about those, they're also talking about a clan or tribe called the Aisti, which might be the Estonians, and a couple of other literary instances seem to indicate tattooing in Northern Europe. Aside from that, we also know that there was tattooing in the Roman Empire. We also know that there was tattooing in Christian times in Rome. So we have general evidence of tattooing occurring for the last 3,000 years all over Europe in different capacities. And with that in and of itself, it makes it likely that Ibn Fadlan's report on these tattooed Vikings is true. Like it just in and of itself. Yeah. So that's the main argument. And then I also have a couple of elements from Old Norse literature that linguistically could direct us towards tattooing, like the word rista, which, you know, we use for talking about carving runes and rune stones or whatever, right? That is actually also used for carving in skin in Sigurðarmál. And we also have several words that indicate blackened skin. For instance, blökkur. That is also used as a word for the blackened sides or painted sides on the Viking ships. So there is something in terms of like vocabulary as well that actually suggests the possibility of tattooing.
Yeah, we even know in my dialect, from the island I'm from, on the west coast, we say rissa to this day, and that is not like drawing. It's like if you're carving something, but it's not the same as carving. It's like it makes sense that it can be like to skin.
Yeah, we have that in Danish too.
We say that still.
I guess originally it would have just been thought of as carving into the skin. I guess that's how they would have seen it.
Yeah, you know, the semantics behind that word would be that you're breaking the surface of something, right? That's the thing that seems to be consistent, right? You're breaking the surface of a stone or of wood or of skin, right? And then, you know, with that, you can either, you know, you can put some soot or you can put some kind of ink or something into that scar that you're making. And so, yeah, there are several sort of vocabulary indications. They're not used specifically where you're like, oh, this is obvious it's tattooing, but they're used in cases where you can say, well, they can be used for this, they can also be used for tattooing.
Okay, as Dan says, I'm also backing you on this one. I think there is a very fair chance that they
there you go.
More than a fair chance. Yeah.
Thank you. I will keep that in mind.
Lindy is
also.
It was very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting actually.
You got two powerhouses on your side now.
Yeah, no, I feel the backup. But there's also another thing, and that is, look, if we look at the artwork from the Viking Age, right? We look at jewelry, we look at any kind of surface. What they did was that they decided that to put some kind of ornamentation on it. Pretty much anything that they worked with, they put ornamentation on. So, I mean, there's not a big leap from that to they probably also did it on their skin in some way or other, because you know what, teenagers fucking do it, right? They sit in their basement and they're like, yeah, let me try to like tattoo you, you know, that kind of stuff. So I'm sure that also happened back then.
And I guess they traveled around a lot, so even if it wasn't a hub in Scandinavia, they would have seen it elsewhere and maybe
they could have
it up.
They definitely could have. And there's also, I mean, when it comes to body modification, of course, we have filed teeth from Viking Age Scandinavia. You know, there are examples of Vikings in Denmark, Sweden, and I believe also southern Norway, and I think one case in England, these skulls that have filed their teeth. So if they file their teeth, again, they could also definitely have tattooed themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also you have artistic people as always existed. Of course, even if it's like some people do want to make something extra from themselves. So, who is calling me now? Sorry, I just have to. Yeah, it's not making any sound. That's good. My phone is. Yeah.
It's fine, but you're right. People always want to stand out, I think.
Yeah.
Usually a male thing for peacocking to get their attention. I'm sure it exists today, so I'm sure it would exist back then. Do you use that term? Is that a term that you two are familiar with, peacocking?
I know what you. Yeah. A jolebukk, we would say, like a jolebukk or something. It's like the goat, the goat with the but a very posh one. If a goat would dress himself up, it would be
the fancy goat.
I feel like that's such a Scandinavian way of describing peacocking as well.
Yeah.
The fancy goat.
The fancy goat.
I mean, Lindy, we spoke about tattoos a lot on this podcast. I don't think that's why people are tuning in with it for an episode with you. Obviously, people want to hear about you and your music. Obviously, you've had an exciting week this week. You've just released an album.
Yes, together with Farne. It's a band that I've been working together with.
So that's what I was wondering. Would this class as a solo album, or is it a?
No, it's me and a band. The only I tried to get to tell these guys that, you know, why can't we just have a band name? And they are quite even shyer than I normally am. So they said that no, we like your name. It's okay for us. Like everybody said, can we stand a bit in the background, please? And we can have Lindy-Fey Hella. That's it. I said, no way, I'm not working together like this, making things from scratch and only having my name on it. It's ridiculous. So that's why we have this very long band name now suddenly. With me and yeah, because we just had to make a fusion there with the name.
What is that band name then?
It's actually Lindy-Fey Hella og de Farne. And
de Farne, okay. Yeah.
And on my dialect, de Farne means those who are gone. But that doesn't have to mean that you have passed away from this planet. It can mean that you have those who have gone to sea or whatever, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, nice. What's it like when you release an album? Obviously, something I've never done. I imagine, has it been a busy week?
It's been a super busy week. The last maybe month or 2 months or so. I've been very busiest once in my whole life, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Because then you have emails and we have rehearsal and then it's interviews, and it's been very nice to be. And then I make sure to kind of keep myself awake in between. So I have to brag to everybody. I know I already told you, but I've started ice bathing.
Oh,
because I have the ocean like 2 minutes to walk from my home. So, and that really helps in like, okay, now I'm on alert again. So.
And so is the ice bath in the ocean or? It's
in the ocean, yeah.
So you just jump in the sea?
Yeah, Yeah.
That sounds like it would be really cold.
You know what? That's the fun thing about it, because I just found out, we had a music video with this band, Farne, a couple of decades called Loose. And I was in this Italian guy, Ferruccio Goya, who made the video. He had written in the storyboard that, and then Lindy can be in the ocean and like this and that. And I don't think he had been thinking about it. He just recently moved to Norway, so he hadn't been thinking about how cold it really is. And I didn't want to destroy the video for the other guys either. So okay, I'm jumping in. And it's the coldest thing I ever experienced.
Oh, I bet.
I need help to get out of there. But then, weirdly enough, after a while, I was just, I have to experience that again. I have to. And now I'm not cold at all. I kind of, I don't feel the cold. It's like after 5-6 minutes, maybe, I kind of know that now I have to go up.
I said that's a long time to be in something that cold.
Yeah, so that's why I know, because I've been reading about it now. It's just a new hobby. And I said, okay, you should walk up after like 5-10 minutes.
I mean, so I feel like it's a pretty big thing in Scandinavia in general.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's starting
Denmark,
to get really,
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it all of my life.
Have you? Yeah, because you have the sauna also there. I was in Denmark recently. And just 3 weeks ago. Yeah. And then I tried out it was fantastic. The sauna.
Yeah. Oh, I think I actually
saw
a picture you put up on Instagram or something.
Yes, I had to brag about it. No, but it's like I got so interested in this now. It feels fantastic.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the best thing. Like you go into the water and then you get into the sauna and then you get back into the water again at some point, going back and forth like that a little bit. I like it.
Cleanest. Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted you, but I've never felt so clean in my whole life.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you jump? Do you get to jump into the ocean, or do you have to walk in slowly and bit by bit get frozen? Because I know through my personal experience that I'd much rather just dive in, get it over and done with, and be cold all at once. If I have to slowly walk in, then I'm going to get up to the top of my legs and then just turn back around and be like, nope, no chance.
But in Denmark, most places have little piers where you can go out and jump from those. I mean, so in Denmark we have like clubs for it, right? So the nude winter bathing club of Copenhagen and stuff like that.
Super nice. I'm planning to start in hope to get people with me then here. Like Chekkelvik Ice Bathing Club. It's only me there now, but maybe if I'm lucky, I can.
Oh, you'll be able to bring a crowd, I'm sure.
You're gonna. I did not think I'd be hearing this today. That you're gonna start an ice bathing club.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
So so since we're on this topic, I have to tell you something. So in the town Netherland, which is a little farther down the road here, where I live. I used to live in town. They have had a yearly festival dedicated to a guy who is essentially a botched cryo-freezing experiment, as far as I understand the whole situation. Yeah, he's like kept in ice somewhere in a shed in the mountain. So it's called the Frozen Dead Guy Days. By the way, that guy was Norwegian. And so so then so we also, of course, in the local water reservoir that we have, which is also the town's drinking water, we have polar plunges for that festival.
Wow.
And there's also like a Viking race where people wear silly Viking hats and race each other in go-karts or something. So yeah, it's a tradition that also lives over here, the polar plunging and frozen Norwegians, I guess.
I mean, yeah. So, sounds interesting.
Yeah,
it's weird, man. It's very weird.
Yeah, I'm not one for the cold if I can avoid it. I'd rather I'd do the sauna, but the ice baths just, I don't know, it's not really for me. I used to have to do them a lot when I was playing rugby for injuries and things, and I hated it so much. But saying that, our ice bath was, I don't know if you have wheelie bins in the USA or in Norway. So it's like the big black bins you have outside your house. They used to just fill that up with cold water and ice and expect you to like clamber in.
Oh my God, no.
It was horrendous. And you just had to sit in there for like a few minutes just to help with the aches and pains. And it sucked so much. I think if I was jumping into maybe a nice Norwegian fjord, it would be a little bit nice, a little bit better. I'd enjoy it a little bit more.
It would still be pretty cold, and
I would be cold, but at least it would. Yes, but at least it wouldn't be a wheelie bin in a shitty little clubhouse.
I guess
you would get some magnesium from the seawater and stuff.
And have something pretty to look at into the countryside, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, it helps.
So I listened to the album today. I had it on repeat in my workshop whilst I was working away, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, cool!
And I have to say,
thank you.
I liked that it was. I always enjoy when something's a little bit different to kind of the norm in this kind of music scene, area, genre, whatever we want to call it, because it felt a lot more relaxed. Felt like I wanted to have a glass of wine and sit in a bath and listen to it. I was just very kind of chilled. I really enjoyed it.
Nice. Thank you. That's good to hear.
So,
yeah.
So I mean, what were the inspirations behind it? How much did you do the writing?
You know what happened? It was that I was supposed to, release the solo album 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And then I was supposed to have, 2 years ago, to have concerts. But of course, Corona happened. But before Corona happened, I met up with these guys that they were supposed to be in this live band. They are in the live band, but we just started to make new things there and then, instead of rehearsing or what we were supposed to rehearse, just jamming. And then I could hear, and we were recording it also just in case something showed up. And it was a very odd experiment because things just happen. With some of the songs that are there is like we just jammed it. Maybe that's why you find it relaxing, because it isn't planned to pieces. It's just some of them. Of course, we have mixed it afterwards and stuff with Ivar Sande, producer, and the producer on it. But and the inspiration is more the lyrics that's always come after, because when I make melodies, I don't like to have. I like to be free with I just what do you call it? I get into some kind of dream world or what. My own world, and I listen to music, and then I just have this Mickey Mouse language that kind of so it doesn't matter for me. It's much easier to sing something that doesn't make sense than have words that I try to fit into my mood.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So then I just after the melodies or the songs or whatever we are working, then I'm looking for the right words.
I mean, I always, with music like this, obviously I don't understand a word of it because I only speak English, so I think that always gives me, I guess, a different perspective on when listening to this, whether it's this or Wardruna or anybody else. It's very much about the music, the beat, the tempo, because that's all I can focus on. Obviously, the words are there, and your voice is. You have a beautiful voice, but I don't understand a single word of it, which I think helps. It helps when it actually helps more when I'm working and trying to concentrate on creating a piece at work. I can kind of have the music on, but the words don't distract me enough from what I'm doing. So it does work in that way. But I found with the album that I listened to today, it was I mean, I think it's easy to fall into the trap of when creating this kind of Nordic style music, for it to be very fast paced, kind of that whole typical warrior type vibe of the Nordic kind of music scene, and whereas this was just felt so much more relaxed and easy listening, and I really kind of just enjoyed that different kind of pace to what maybe I'm used to with other bands.
That's really good. And when you say easy listening, as long as it's not like it would fit into an elevator.
No.
Yeah.
No. There's a big difference between
Good.
elevator music and easy listening.
Well, this would be great for a grocery store.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. That's not what I said.
No, I know what you mean. There's like a tendency for this style of music to be something that you're kind of expecting that you'll be running across the Norwegian high mountains, like with your spear and, I don't know, chasing a wolf or something. And
yeah,
that's definitely not the feeling that you're getting here.
Or to be like some sort of mid battle scene, or
yeah.
Obviously we've seen Wardruna's music used in Vikings in kind of very fast paced moments. But whereas it, like I said, this just seems very, very relaxed, which is something different that I really enjoyed it. It was just something that I kind of just drifted away listening to, and the album kind of flew by whilst I was working away. So I just popped it back on and listened to it again.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. I will tell the other guys also, in case they haven't tuned in now. I will tell them that you said so. But I've heard it a couple of others also that has mentioned that it is like this dreamy quality to it, or what, and that's nice, because it's we are very we're talking a lot about it also, like other dimensions or dream. Well, we're very curious about what we sometimes can feel but not see, things like that. And we just have an open mind about it and talking. We can talk. It's a nice bunch of people to talk about things that are a bit far out there sometimes. No, but it's fun. It's so it makes sense in a way that you find it relaxing.
Yeah, this is a safe space to talk about any of those things.
When you say far out, do you mean elves?
I don't know. It can be elves. It can be anything.
I know.
I'm the neighbor of a proper witch mountain here in Norway.
Nice.
A witch mountain for real.
Yeah.
And not it's called Lidahorn, and they did think that some 100 years ago that the witches had sabbats and stuff up there. And of course, when I say witch, it's a positive word for me. So yeah, it was probably some what do you call it, originals that had meetings up there, maybe drank some mead or so, if I can guess. And of course that was enough to get burned on the stake or something like that. So if you were a bit different those days, it wasn't safe. But it's a very nice place. And also suddenly a black cat came here to just decided to live here. So I feel that maybe I'm the witch here in Kjeppavik.
Yeah, I sincerely hope that you've restarted the tradition of going up there, right?
Of course, I'm going up there. Yeah.
Like you had to ask.
Yeah, no, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I can assure you that it has been a couple of witches up there since 2020.
That's good to hear. Yeah. No, I teach about the Dovra in I teach a course on Scandinavian witchcraft and magic. So
fantastic.
Yeah,
I didn't know that, because I haven't but I will check it out now, because now I have the time after the weekend. I will have time to look at other stuff with you guys. So then do you have some episodes on that maybe on your podcast?
We haven't really talked much about that. We have had Tanya Lind from Iceland in to talk about being a vulva and so on. But no, this is a course I teach at the university in Colorado, in Boulder. So I have
That's amazing.
I'm pretty sure that like 30% of my class is definitely people who identify as witches. So
Good to hear. That's nice.
Is that something that you're particularly interested in, Lindy? Witchcraft?
No, you know, I'm generally interested in everything that has to do with mysterious things. But I also have to say that I'm this boring kind of. If I do in that, you know, I cheers on the witches big time, and I do feel like one in a way, if I have to say, if someone asked me. But I'm I'm this boring witch that is very against evil spells and stuff. I'm not into that thing. Just to make sure, in case someone, but I don't believe in doing harm.
Well, that's probably good. That was mostly what people got burned at the stake for back in the day. Maleficium, basically putting a curse on people that would like kill them or kill the cattle or make them sick or something like that.
Yeah, so it was a case here in Bergen because I know someone that studied. They have read this trials, the books with the trials, and then there was a poor woman that she got the blamed because the pear tree didn't bear any fruits, particular fruits one year, and then she had to pay the price for that.
We all know it's husbands just trying to get rid of their wives.
No.
That's got to be what it is.
No, that is mostly in France and Belgium. That is mostly France and Belgium.
So it's...
Yeah. So okay. So if you want to get really nerdy about it, there are different social dynamics depending on which part of the Europe we're in. So for instance, in Norway, most of the people who get burnt for witchcraft back in the day, they were itinerant and very poor. Like in so many cases, we see they don't even have clothes on their body. The people that are being burnt for witchcraft in Norway. So what we're seeing is essentially like local communities trying to root out the poor people. That's what it's about in Norway. Wow. In Sweden, it's really interesting because the Swedes, they go full on with the pact with the devil. That's actually not that common in the rest of Scandinavia. The idea of the pact with the devil and going to the mountain and all that stuff. But that becomes a big thing in the Swedish witchcraft trials. And what we see in Sweden is actually a bunch of children running around capitalizing on accusing other people of witchcraft. And so the kids are making money off of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's husbands paying kids to get rid of their wives.
No, still it's not that. No, it's not that much that actually. What we see in Denmark is mostly, so the material that we have from Denmark is mostly from Jutland. We don't have a lot from the islands. So what we can see in the Jutland cases is that there's a lot of people worry a lot about cattle. So this person over here is responsible for half of my cattle herd of being decimated because of some illness or something like that. Or beer brewing. Also, sometimes they're taking out competition. Like, so we can see that some accusations, they're very obviously have something to do with like competing merchants in towns and that kind of stuff. But no, so if you go to France and you go to Belgium, that's where you see husbands. Basically, it's mostly about impotence, really. So they're accusing their wives of having made them impotent. And this is something that actually goes back to the 1300s. It was actually, interestingly, there were two historical witchcraft cases in France, and one in France and one in Scotland, both involving Danish princesses. So I don't know, like the Danish princesses were apparently like people that were easy to accuse of witchcraft. I don't know why, but Yeah, it's a lot of different like reasons, and it's also a lot of like local like folklore that gets mixed into all of this. Like
Mhm.
in Denmark, it's very common that these the explanations for what is happening and all that stuff include the Nisse, the little man who lives on the farm, or sometimes a black dog or something like that, which seems very specific to some Danish folklore.
Yeah, we also have the Nissa, we call it
Mhm.
Fjøs Nissa.
Yeah.
It's on the farm. Yeah, farm, the same thing.
But he doesn't show up in trials that much in Norway. Interestingly, and in the meantime, in Iceland, it's mostly men who are burnt for witchcraft, and it's definitely some kind of like Odin complex that is lingering because they're accused of being fjölkunnig, or they know that type of witchcraft that Odin knew, and they know runes and that kind of stuff. So there's some very, very specific local reasons for witchcraft too, depending on where we are in Europe. And I think the Dutch, they're really busy getting rid of women who brew beer. That's like a major part of that.
You're kidding. Is it
How
true?
dare? How
Yeah.
dare they?
How
And that was-
dare they? Yeah, it's
That was also part of some of the witchcraft trials in Germany, and it makes perfect sense because the German Reinheitsgebot, for the purity of beer, it's invented in the 1400s, and that's when it starts taking off. So it makes perfect sense. They're literally getting rid of competition.
Brewing bad beer, just witch.
Yeah.
You didn't. I mean, you didn't mention Britain in there at all. Do we have witches?
Oh,
It's not,
yeah,
it's not
you
something
have-
I really know about. It's not. I've never.
Bristol, I think, becomes a big hub for
Oh, there was
witchcraft.
the Pendle witch trials as well.
Mm-hmm.
There was a.
And the English ones actually are very similar to the Danish ones in terms of the social dynamics that are happening, and also a lot of the folklore involved. The kind of seems to mirror some of the Danish stuff.
Do you think
Well,
that?
the Scottish trials are really, like in Scotland, they get really hardcore.
Oh, that does not surprise me at all. That doesn't surprise me. So I mean, to try and get back on topic, I guess, a little bit, even though it's always fun when we wander off down a tangent. Wardruna, you obviously are a big part of that. Did you ever imagine it would become what it is?
no, of course I didn't. I think it's 15 years ago or something. The first time I was going down in the studio to Einar, and then he was in this very small, actually by the sea, just a kind of loft in another building. And I was just strolling down there and say, yeah, I can always try something, because he said that he called me and said, yeah, I know, you probably know me from, I know Christian and stuff like that. And yeah, I have a song that I wondered if you can try to come up with something. And I just went down there, 10 minutes walk. And then it was this Björkan song. And it was this part of the song where I could just come up with whatever. He just had some kind of things I had to have in mind, and that was, you are some kind of, just imagine you are some kind of a goddess or something of the woods, of the birch woods. So I'm pretty good in daydreaming. So I just went into something that I felt was like that made sense for me in that, and then it was that song, and then I never left. It was just that I got asked to do more songs, and then suddenly 15-20 years has gone by, and I still, but I never expected it to be this, and I'm very happy about it, because I love to travel. I love these guys in the band, everyone. It's a fantastic group to be in, actually. So yeah, traveling around, having concerts, and very nice.
Oh, it sounds pretty good. Was there a point where you ever almost didn't go to see Aina to sing on the song, or was you always?
I have told him once that because he wanted me to do some kind of choir, and once I said, no, it's too much singing.
Oh, I meant the first song.
Yeah.
Was you 100% always when he asked you? Were you in straight away, or did at any point you think, oh, maybe I'm too busy, I need to do something else instead? And then
no, because it was like in Bergen, it's a small city, and all the musicians are kind of helping. At least when in the 90s, and we were helping each other out because no one had money. So if it was like lending each other 50 kroner for a cup of coffee, or if it was to sing or play guitar or whatever on other people's projects, everybody was just helping each other out. So I was thinking, oh yeah, it's a friend of my friend. So of course I will help him out with this. So I was thinking, and when I heard the music also, I like this, I can, if I didn't like the music, I would then say no in a polite way. But I like the music, so I felt home with that music.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good thing for music that you went along and enjoyed it and liked the music, because obviously it sparked an entire genre into I guess into the forefront of people's minds. A lot of people wouldn't have heard of this style of music, I don't think, if it wasn't for Wardruna kind of paving the way and really bringing it into kind of the everyday household.
Yeah, and I think also maybe with Einar and also Christian, who started also those two, that was in the beginning before I joined it. They wanted to also do justice to the runes again, because in Norway, I don't know if that was in the rest of Scandinavia, but in Norway it was seen as some kind of shame because the Nazis had taken like symbols, just using it like for no reason, just because it looks cool or whatever, They've taken these things away. So it was like, I think, for Einar and them to take it back in a way, because it has nothing to do with Nazi racism, or there's nothing to do with it. And I think that is actually, when looking back at it, that was quite of a brave thing to do back then, because I remember in the beginning, we had to kind of answer, even me, like, oh, isn't that some kind of a evil band? Or no, it's the opposite. Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, Vikings didn't make it easy for anybody either.
Didn't make it easy for no.
I mean, I didn't realize how much of a bad human he was, because I never really looked into him or anything. He's kind of just one of those names that I heard kind of just doing these episodes and whatever else. He's just someone I heard has been a bad person. And then I listened to the last podcast on the left, who did a 3-part episode on Norwegian black metal and go into the whole kind of Varg story and the people he killed. And I was like, it's a fucking really insane story. And he was not a good person by any stretch of the imagination.
Yes.
It's surprising that he's not in prison still.
Yeah, it's I don't know what to say about, because I don't know that guy personally. So I have never followed him. I like you. If I would check him, I know just that I don't stand for anything he stands for, obviously, because he has been kind of vocal about the very right-winged, and that is so opposite from me that I would never go into. I like, for me, it's like I'm not interested in him or in what he's doing, like, because it's.
I think a lot of the hype around him and those guys in the early 90s was also part of making it making the interest in that whole Viking Age history, the runes and all of those things, more difficult in Norway, because we didn't have the same attitude to it in Denmark. Like in Denmark, it was a little more like, oh yeah, okay, that's just our history, you know. Like people would at best probably just think that you're, you know, kind of a nerd for being interested in it, right?
But that's great. Yeah, because that was what I was wondering about. Maybe it was just a Norwegian thing that we had kind of started, but it went very fast forward. It went away very fast, that thing. I felt that everybody understood that this is just genuinely people who are interested, like Einar and them, who were interested in this stuff. And I was joining, I told Einar, you know, I don't know anything, but back then I don't know anything about the runes really. I don't know anything about it. I just wanted to be honest that, you know, maybe you should look for someone else. And he said, no, but it's your energy I want anyway, because he had heard something else that I've done on a concert. So it was just, and that then I was okay, everything is okay then. I'm doing my stuff. So mingling in there somewhere. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, I guess I obviously like the fact that you were able to put, I guess like you said, almost put yourself in a trance for the song, go to a place and just kind of be free and be you, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what he picked up on, that, you know, that was my kind of thing. And then if you are just honest about that, you know, because it has happened also that I've seen, no, I can't sing that, or if it's, but that is just that just happens once.
No, you I can't imagine there's many things you can't sing. You have a very beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. I have my brother, you know what my brother said?
I mean, if he's your brother, he probably wasn't very nice.
No, it wasn't nice at all. But but we are very good friends, and everything is fine. But he said when we were living under the same roof, I was like 16, and now he was 16, I was 17, and I was rehearsing. And he said, Lindy-Fey, you have to stop that singing. It goes through my bones, it goes through my blood, everything. And he was so fed up with it. And then some years later, he was at a concert, and I said, "Okay, why are you here?" Because and then they said, "Yeah, but it's not that bad when it comes music along with it."
Oh, that's such a brother thing to say.
Yeah,
he was just being mean.
Yeah, but I kind of like it. So yeah, it means that it's some nerve at least.
Yeah, he's just been a mean brother, and I guess you got his approval in the end.
Yeah. Now when but that's probably because we are over 40, both of us. Then he can kind of, no, it's not that bad.
It's not embarrassing to be nice to your sister anymore.
Yeah, no, it's getting there on the brighter side.
So when it comes to the music, I guess with Wardruna and your solo stuff, how much input do you have into creating? Do you obviously you do the lyrics? Do you do a lot of the melodies? I
do all the melodies. I otherwise it wouldn't be a point for me to. I always do the melodies.
Okay, is that the same for the Wardruna stuff as well?
No, then it's sometimes. You
kind of mix it.
Yeah, for most of the latest years, it may be Einar, but if it's some kind of free singing or some lines here and there, it can be me. So all the free song is normally me when it's no words involved.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to be a fly on the wall when you guys were just jamming, I guess, and just kind of flowing ideas and putting stuff together. I think that would be such a fun process to sit in on.
Yeah, it is always nice to when you find people that you are working very well together with. It's always a nice thing to start that process again with making music and new music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how has it been I say, I guess with the album you've just released, are you all close enough geographically that you've been able to play together and practice, or has it all had to be remote?
Yeah, we haven't been, but we are living quite close actually because of the corona and stuff. We've also been, like me and the synth player Wardruna, we are the ones that has the last half a year we have been sending stuff to each other, so we have a lot of new music that we record soon. But on the album that you are already hearing, we had a basement just right up the street here at one of the drummers. He has a basement studio in his mother's basement, so it's called Mors Kjeller, which means mother's basement. And that was where most of the songs were made in the first place.
I mean, that sounds so strange. You're saying it was made in someone's mother's basement.
Yeah, no, but it was. But
sorry, go ahead.
no, but he is very busy. He has his own studio and has a lot of people coming there. And also he is actually he is not joining us now. It's mostly me and the synth player because he's so busy. So yeah, but that's why we made the first album, and now on the next one we will maybe just continue sending stuff to each other, me and this Wardruna, because that has worked very well. It's a very new way to work for us, but it's working. I'm sending him maybe some melodies, or he's sending me some things he has made with synth, and then I put a melody on top of that, and then it's just sounding like this. And then we're meeting up with producer Ivar Sunday soon. Yeah.
I guess it makes it so much easier having the ability to just send stuff. That's easy. Obviously, if Corona had come about maybe 20 years ago, before we had the accessibility, I guess if you weren't close to each other and being able to get to a studio, that was it. You just couldn't make music, I guess.
Yeah, imagine that. You could send some ideas on a dot or something and post it, and it would take 14 days before it. Yeah, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
So lock in, unlock. That is nowadays.
Yeah, so you're still able to make music.
Yeah. Discover that.
That's the main. Yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
So what about touring? Do you have anything booked with Wardruna? Or yourself?
Yeah, there are plans for. No, I know I haven't checked the calendar, but I know there will be quite a lot to do next year.
I'm expecting to see you guys over here as soon as possible.
Oh yes, I'm looking. I look very much forward to be in Colorado again. Let me tell you, I was walking up to that mountain, the Flatirons, because I like to walk, and I had some hours before I had to be on the sound check. So what a fantastic place, really.
Yeah.
Talking about magical place.
Yes, especially when you get far enough in, on the backside there of Chautauqua. That's a really cool spot. Yeah, and
so it's on the backside of the mountain.
Well, it's the backside of that Chautauqua is that little hill that you go up first, and then you get up towards the Flatirons, and when you get sort of like far into the back, that's when it starts getting really, really interesting.
Yeah, but maybe I was there then because I was walking for quite some time. It took some hours, that walk, and then I walked as long as I could before I actually had to climb. And I was saying, I'm not climbing. That I maybe not make it to the concert then, but as far it was just this very small stones left. That area, it's just very, very small stones.
Yeah, like the sort of like a ravine kind of thing.
Yeah.
What do you call that in Reus or something like that?
Reus. Reus. Yeah.
No, I have slipped on those on several occasions, and in pretty bad weather.
Yes, that you can expect to roll all the way down there, maybe.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I did break my toe once on them. So
Oh no.
I know exactly what you're talking about. And yeah, that's the kind of spot you want to be a little careful with.
I think you need to carry a GoPro with you now, just so you can film yourself falling for me.
I mean, the backstory behind that is that I was being an idiot. It was because I was not being careful. So, you know, it was entirely my fault. Usually I don't fall around in the mountains because I'm not an idiot. But I just moved to Colorado, so I was being a little, how do you say that? A little bolder than I needed to be, you know?
Pun intended?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Mathias, I've always wondered this. There seems to be such a big kind of Viking community in Colorado. Is there a particular reason for that? Obviously, you get like Highland perform there, Wardruna, where it's you always just kind of is it Fire in the Mountain is there as well?
No, that's up in Wyoming.
Okay.
But I mean, for American standards, it's kind of close. It's only 8 hours in a car. So.
But yeah, it does seem like there is a bit of a community there, though. Yeah, I just always wondered if there was a reason behind it, or if it was because of the university.
So I would say that there are some compounding factors. I mean, Denver is the biggest metro area in the Front Range, you know, along the Rockies. There's nowhere there's like 3-point-something million people in Denver and that whole metro area. There's nowhere like that if you go north or south for that matter. So this would be sort of like the place for any kind of subculture, really, right? Any kind of interest in music. Like there's also a big heavy metal community. There's a big I'm pretty sure that there are other genres of music are pretty big too here as well. I mean, I wouldn't know because I don't branch out. Like I'm very. But aside from that, actually, fun fact: there is a Viking reenactment group that, according to legend, they've been here for a long time. And according to legend, they were actually started with the help from some guys from a reenactment group in Denmark. So there has been some Viking interest for a very long time out here. But I mean, for a show like Wardruna, last time you guys were here, I mean, people came in from everywhere. They came from New Mexico, from Wyoming, from Nebraska, Kansas, all over the Midwest, right? Because the next place where like somebody would be playing a show like this would be Chicago, right? And the distance from here to Chicago is the same as the distance from Hamburg to Moscow. So it's pretty far, right? So it's like if you're in Nebraska, for instance, you could choose, do I want to see Wardruna playing in Chicago, or do I want to see them playing in Denver, right? So that makes perfect sense that people would then come out here.
It's insane how big that place is, because I complain if I have to travel an hour and a half to go to a show or something.
You know what's insane? It's insane that when I have to go to Chicago, I would prefer to drive all the way. That's insane.
What, than fly?
Yeah.
There's probably beautiful scenery along that road.
Not really. It's just a bunch of it's just a bunch of cornfields.
Okay.
No, actually, you know, Iowa is actually kind of, Iowa feels like Denmark. You have like those rolling hills, and it's kind of nice. And yeah, you get different kinds, like there's like a little bit of desert too in like northeastern Colorado. It can be interesting, but Kansas is not. Kansas is really boring to go through. But I just no, not Kansas. Well, yeah, Kansas would also be, but I meant Nebraska. Nebraska is also really boring. But yeah, I just prefer driving. It's like, you know, when I was a kid in Denmark, and you go to Italy or something like that. You'd be on a bus for like 21 hours and you'd be like jacked up on Red Bull. And it's a vibe that I like.
Oh, I feel like the people in Nebraska and Kansas listening to this right now, they're so mad at you.
Probably. I mean, but they will, if you're in Nebraska and you're listening to this, you will probably agree with me that there's not a lot of awesome scenery out of, around York or something like that. Definitely not.
Poor Nebraska.
I will Google Nebraska afterwards and look for beautiful places. I will
There
Google
are some
places in Nebraska.
there are some nice cool like low hills in certain areas in Nebraska, but when you're driving along the highway, there's not a lot to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a curious love-hate relationship with Omaha because that's where I always stop. So I know Omaha pretty well. They have good steaks.
Well, there you go. That's your driving trip.
Hey man, at this point, everybody should know that that I don't try to disguise my feelings about landscapes. I mean, I will tell you straight up that Denmark is pretty boring too, right?
Yeah, except from the south Denmark, because I was there just now, 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
I was very positively at Farne. I think what's that?
Okay.
Maybe it was. I think it's like all the way south. It was like I heard it's like 1.5 hour, 2 hours from Germany.
Yeah.
But out
okay.
in the countryside. I'm not good in remembering names. I was there having a workshop of all things, but seriously beautiful place.
I mean, so the islands down there are pretty beautiful, right? But
because it was like hilly. It was very hilly. Yeah.
The southern part of
Farne
can get really interesting with the hills and stuff like that. Northern part is pretty much like Kansas and Nebraska, just like my home country Jutland is also just a small version of that. Pretty boring too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you're spoiled, Lindy, with Norway, because that's one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been. And just driving around, I just couldn't get bored of just looking around. Even though it's a nightmare to get anywhere, I guess, because you have to go all the way around the fjords. You can see where you want to be across the fjord, and it's going to take you 3 hours.
Right over there, but you have to go 3 hours that way.
It's like I could throw a stone to get to it, but I've got to drive all the way around. Still, it didn't annoy me because I was just looking around constantly, just admiring how beautiful the place was.
Yeah, I like it here. It is beautiful indeed. Some people can't tolerate the weather though, because it comes a bad weather with all the hills, mountains, not hills here, but so all the clouds are crushing into those mountains, and it's one of the most rainiest places in the whole world.
Oh, I know all about rain.
I think the only place that has more rain than the Norwegian West Coast, that's Bangladesh. Like,
and one town in
China
also. One town in
China. Town in China.
Trust you to know that, Mathias.
Yeah, of course.
How do you even know that? Where'd you learn that?
I don't know, man. I'm a nerd. Like,
I'm gonna have to get. I need Shan to start fact checking everything you say, because you could just make this up. I'm that gullible. You could just make it up and just be like, yeah, that's it, and then I'll go tell people.
But
I was just
why?
Sorry,
Just one far out there question. Is that why it comes so many? Is it a huge tea production in Bangladesh, or am I wrong about that? No, that's Sri Lanka.
Yeah, that's Sri Lanka. Yeah.
But does it come better tea with a lot of rain? I'm a coffee drinker, so I just want to know. No, you don't know?
I have no idea about the production of tea.
What are you normally doing? Lie?
No, I don't normally lie. But there's something I don't know, I say that I don't know it.
He doesn't lie. He's just very smart.
But I'll tell you this though, Bergen is definitely one of my favorite cities in Scandinavia. It's definitely my favorite city in Norway. It is also the only city that's ever made me cry because of the weather.
What happened?
It was just so rainy, like walking like five feet down the road, and like you're just soaked, and it's like there's nothing you can do.
At least nobody could see you cry.
Exactly, it was all wet anyway. So
yeah, if you want to know who are kind of from here, if you walk in this rain, you can see all those who don't wear an umbrella, because you just at one point you just give up.
Yeah,
I'm from an island also where it doesn't rain that much at all, but I've been living in the city for 20 years or so, 30 years almost. And in the beginning, you're trying to have an umbrella, but it's not sustainable. Forget it, or you have to carry it all the way. So if you're a little bit forgetful, you can just forget it.
yeah.
And now it's a lot of people just walk in that rain without any protection.
But you can get umbrellas everywhere though. Like
you
every
can.
7-Eleven has like umbrellas somewhere.
Yes.
Colorado is the exact opposite though. We don't really get any rain. I usually tell people that it never rains in Colorado because you never get, like, when it does rain in Colorado, it's nothing compared to what you have in Scandinavia, anywhere in Scandinavia really, or the UK for that matter.
Shan's been fact checking. Nee says that Norway isn't in the top 10 of wettest places on earth. So,
he's checked. Fantastic. Now we know. Top 10.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Oh no, it says it's not. It says Norway's not in the top 10.
But you have to Google Bergen, Norway. It is Bergen, Norway, because the east coast of Norway, the north, the south, there it doesn't rain nearly as much. If you single it into west coast of Norway or Bergen, I promise you, I have read somewhere that it is the most rainy city in the whole world, except from one city I don't remember the name of in China.
That's insane. So just move away from the rain.
No, but it is beautiful here also. No. Like I'm used to it. It's a nice scenery and nice people.
I mean, obviously, being from England, we get our fair share of rain. But I think the rain always makes the landscape and the environment so much more beautiful, because obviously it feeds the earth, it feeds nature. So you just end up with so much beautiful, like obviously the landscape, the trees flourish, the plants flourish, the flowers, everything always looks very nice where it's wet quite often.
I have that factoid of Bangladesh being one of the few rainier places than Bergen. I have that from a BBC show. So you tell me who's full of shit, me or the English.
I believe you. Others may do their own research and find out that you're lying, but I won't.
I'm researching this. 240 rainy days per year. That's Bergen
and then
weather.
you have to check Bergen. Is that what you're checking now?
Yeah. That's what I'm checking. 240 rain days per year.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I'd just get fed up.
The rainiest city in Europe, allegedly.
Come on, say Bergen now. Oh.
I mean, it is definitely a very rainy place.
It is.
It sounds like it's up there for sure. No, I didn't think we'd be getting onto this subject.
Well, it's my honor that's at stake now, right?
I know for anybody who's only listening or watching this, when I questioned his integrity, he leaned close to the camera and furiously started typing, doing his own research. But I believed you all along. I just wanted to see what happened if I questioned you. Oh dear. So yeah, should we wrap this one up? I've had a very busy week. I'm a little bit sleepy. We're knocking on here. It's Christmas time. We recently did our Black Friday event through Horns of Odin. But this year we did a give back Friday event where we're going to donate an item to our local food bank for every item sold on the website over the weekend, which is really good. So we totted that up yesterday, and it came to 406 items that we have. 406 items we sold. Then me and Sarah are going to double it. So we're gonna tomorrow got to go and buy 812 food items to donate to our local food bank, which is really good. It was a really nice total, but it's going to be a nightmare. We did last year, and we raised 370 items, I think it was in total. And apparently the little gun. Do you have the self-shopping in, where you go around the supermarket, but you get like you get your own little gun to
yeah,
scan.
starting here, just started.
Yeah, so that's quite popular here. So we thought it would be quicker to do that, but they take quite a long time to register the scan. But also they max out at 200 items, which we didn't know. So we were walking around with like 2 different trolleys, and then when we got to the till, obviously we bagged it all up and separated it up into little like tins and different things. And then when we got to check out, they kind of, one of them didn't weigh the right or something, so they had to unpack all 200 items and rescan them just in case we were trying to steal a tin or something. I don't know.
Oh my
God.
It was an absolute headache. So that was for 300 and something. So tomorrow we've got to do 812. So I'm hoping that the same thing isn't going to happen, but worse. I'm not really sure the best way to go about it. I've never bought as much stuff.
I mean, I think it's great that you're doing something for your community, man.
It's super nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, when I was doing some research for it, because obviously it's easy to do the whole put something on sale on Black Friday, but I just figured it's nice to try and do something to give back. Obviously, we're in a lucky enough position that the company's doing all right. We've got a unit now; it's going pretty well. But not everyone's been so lucky through the pandemic. And when I was looking, I think it's like 6.5 million people use a food bank in the UK every year. It's up like 600,000 people last year alone, and I was like, that's never a good thing. It's just a sad statistic, obviously, and that's people that are willing to go to the food banks. How many people are too proud to accept the help and go? So they must be, millions more who are on that threshold who kind of just do without or make do and kind of get by. So we just, we wanted to try and do something to help out. Obviously, it's only a drop in the ocean when it comes to it, but it's going to make a difference to some people, I think.
Yeah, I think it's very important to do those like you're doing. I think it's very what can I call it? Just such a nice thing to do. And when people say, "Yeah, it's just a drop in the ocean," no, but it is a drop in the ocean. What if you don't? There are a lot of drops in the ocean. It's like it's.
The drops are part of making the ocean.
Exactly. Yeah. No drops, no ocean. No, but it's.
That's it. No, I'm looking forward to dropping all the stuff off, because, like I say, when we took it last year, they were pretty happy. So I imagine that it'll be the same this year, because they all work on volunteers and donations, and it's hopefully makes it a little bit better for someone, I guess. But on top of that, we had the photo shoot for our next clothing range that comes out hopefully on Friday. So that was fun. We got some fire involved. We had a fire performer there doing some stuff like that. So we got some really good pictures. So it's been a long week, to put it shortly. And,
Damn.
and obviously, Lindy, you've had a a busy week with the album, and I'm sure it's just going to be carry on being busy.
Yes, it's going to be busy. We have a concert on Friday, so it's going to be very
nice.
busy. Yeah, so I'm going to enjoy a beer like you're doing after Friday. Friday evening after the concert, I will relax for that weekend at least.
Do you ever have a drink before, or is it always nothing?
No,
before?
I never do. I never do that.
Because I know some people obviously like to have one before, loosens them up.
I tried to do it, but it never, and I didn't do it anymore. I tried to do once, but I don't like. For me, it's like I get so easily tipsy. So and okay. I don't like to be tipsy when I'm having a concert. So I just tried it once and never again.
There you go.
But I mean, that's not what I'm not like. Ooh, and no one else should do it. But just it isn't for me. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Everybody's different. I guess if you can get in your zone that you need to be in without it, then you don't need it. And whereas like some people, maybe they need it to loosen up, I guess.
Yeah. Some people have it that way.
Everybody's different.
Yes.
There we go.
That's great.
It's awesome. Let's wrap this up. This has been fun. Oh, wait. Mathias is gonna. This is why I've been quiet for the last 5 minutes.
I've been researching. Yes, I've been researching.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So let's just average yearly precipitation for Bangladesh is 2,200 milliliters. Average yearly precipitation for Bergen, 2,250 milliliters.
Yes.
So yeah, I was wrong. There's more rainfall in Bergen.
Oh, I'm so happy now.
Boom.
Fuck off. I didn't question you at all.
No, it was just that curmudgeon, our producer over there, who was like.
I was setting you up the platform to show your greatness. That's all I was doing. I never doubted.
Sure.
Never doubted. All right, now can we wrap it up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Lindy, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a lot of fun talking to you.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Do you want to give a shout out, I guess, to where people can follow you, but also find the new album? I don't think we've even mentioned the name of the new album, so that might be.
The name is Hildring, which is the same as Mirage in English. And it can be found on Binors. It's the record company, and also Iceland Music have it in their online store. And typical me, I haven't checked doing the checkup with the business. Of course, it will be in stores, I guess, eventually. It will be in Gallery Fjalar, which is Carl's Gallery. It will be there from tomorrow. That's in Bergen, so it's very local. And you can find the music, of course, on every like streaming thing. And
is it better for people to buy it than stream it? Does it work out better for you if?
I don't know. I'm the most lousy person ever when it comes to business. I haven't checked. Honestly, I haven't checked that up, so I don't know.
I'm guessing it will be better if people buy it. So everybody go and buy it.
Probably.
Everybody go and buy it, and then you can stream it as well.
Thanks.
But buy the CD, because then you have. It's always nice to have something tangible to hold and look at. So everybody buy the CD, and then you can stream whenever you want to.
Thank you for suggesting that. I'm just saying also my batteries. My battery is soon going. So if it's just like. I can see it now. I get this alarm on that the battery is going.
It's all right. We'll be done in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're fine. So people can follow you on Instagram. Is it just Lindy-Fey Hella?
Yes. It's exactly.
Mathias, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. Go follow me there. See me post pictures about my new Christmas tree.
Hopefully some falling over. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Maybe you need, Lindy. Maybe you need to plug this in because this was an issue that
Yeah. 2 seconds. I will find it. I have to run. I will find it.
Okay, we have a very serious question about my Christmas tree.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for Lindy to get back. Because I thought we were gonna have to cancel the podcast when I looked on your Instagram.
Why?
Because
what?
Shan's upset because I've started the episode again.
Well, he's been sick of us for a very long time now.
Bless him. No, Lindy's back.
Yay! Christmas tree.
I completely forgot about this. Completely.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the question about the Christmas tree?
You can't put your Christmas tree up in November.
Why not?
Because you can't. Because it's too early for Christmas trees.
It was the first of Advent.
No, like
the only reason I didn't have the big shiny stars that we use in Scandinavia up as well was because the power cords for them hadn't arrived from Amazon yet.
No,
they had today. So
it's. I mean, at a push, I would allow the 1st of December, but in November is too early for Christmas trees.
It's the first Sunday of the Advent Sundays before Christmas.
I don't care.
I'm sorry, bro, but that's just how it goes. Like that's when it goes up, and then this is also where you start all the Christmassy shit. And you know what? Traditions are good. You need more of them. So
no, I was I was brought up with 12 days before and 12 days after. That's what like I grew up with as a child. That's what my mum did. It was like the 12 days of Christmas whole thing. So
yeah, but that's you. That's you people and your poultry, right? Like
so. Yeah. So our Christmas tree
bunch
would
of
go
geese and I don't know what.
Our Christmas tree would not go up until the 12th, and then it would come down maybe the 12th after, which is a little bit long in my opinion after Christmas, but it wouldn't go up until like 12 days before. So when people put it up in November, that is psychotic to me.
It is
That's
not November. It's the first of Advent.
No, it's the 29th of November is what it is.
Yeah, that's the first of Advent.
Lindy.
Yeah, I've been doing my own opinion here now. And it's just because I also was thinking about, I'm not kidding, I have a small tree outside which I was given as a gift from my cousin. I have a garden outside there. And I was thinking, instead of, I don't want to cut down a tree. I'm done with those things. I can't cut down a tree. Oh, wait a minute. I did this summer, but that was invasive trees. It's a bit different. But this unit, I can't do it. So I'm thinking about taking in that small unit. And guess when I was thinking about taking that in?
Tomorrow.
No, it was the first Sunday of Advent, like Mathias. But I didn't do it, but because I was too busy. But I was thinking about it.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong here?
Yes, you are. And you know what? You're also a little more southern than most Scandinavians, right?
Everybody in the chat is saying I'm wrong as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
in the
so
winter
bizarre
in Scandinavia, you live in perpetual darkness. And
yeah,
so
that's a good point.
The lights are important. That's what keeps you going. And it's not the same here because I'm like at the same latitude as like Northern Africa. So we actually get a lot of sunlight also right now. But it's still important to me because I grew up in darkness.
That is a really good point because I have this when it's the corona and everything. I'm working part-time in a shop, health food shop, and then there was a customer. She is originally from somewhere in the Middle East countries, and she said, "Yeah, I believe I found it easier to live here in the darkness when I just have these small lights on, then it gets pretty cozy in the winter time." So that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Then now maybe the mystery about the juletree or the Christmas tree is kind of so why we put it up earlier than you done.
So early, too early.
Yeah. So go downtown anywhere in any Scandinavian town and you'll see like everything is lit up with like Christmas lights now. Like there's
Oh, I don't mind corporate Christmas trees being put up. I understand that because that's just money making. But when it comes to personal ones, I feel like maybe I'm coming across like a psychopath. But I thought you were
just a bit, man. Just
I
a
thought,
bit.
man, I thought everybody was gonna back me up. I thought, yeah, I've got him. I've got Mathias once and for all. Here we go. And then the chat has turned on me. Nobody agreed with me. Sarah's been wanting to put the Christmas tree up for a couple of days now, and I've been like, no.
Oh, that's what it's really about.
Yeah, and I'm like, no,
it's a family thing.
And I'm like, no, we've got to wait a week. And she's like, no, I want to put it over. And I'm like, no, you've got to wait. It's too early. But apparently, it's me. I'm the problem. And who thought that? I'm the issue.
I feel like you can do whatever you feel like you need to do with the Christmas tree. Like that's your business. I put it up on the first Sunday of the Advent because that's just, my little weird Danish tradition, I guess.
Do you not get bored? Do you not get bored of it?
No.
And I love Christmas. Like I absolutely love Christmas. I love it, but I always worry when stuff goes on too long. Like because obviously you see over here. I don't know if it's the same in America and in Norway, but we see Christmas stuff out in the shops before the end of Halloween. Like I think after Halloween, then you can put Christmas stuff out. But the stuff in the aisles alongside the Halloween stuff, and for me, I'm just like, fuck
I'm
off.
pretty sure I saw Christmas stuff in October.
Yeah, same
in
here.
the stores, and that's some bullshit. But honestly, so for me personally, over the years, I have mostly been some kind of like emo heavy metal kind of type who's like, fuck tradition and especially fuck the cozy traditions and all that stuff. And now I'm more like, you know what? I've grown up and traditions are cool, also the cozy ones. And Christmas traditions, even if they're Christian, I'm okay with that. It's my cultural background, so fuck it. I'll put up that Christmas tree.
Yeah, Christmas trees are. I like I say I do love Christmas. I'm not being a Scrooge. I just thought that it was meant to go up later. But all these years I've been shouting at people and telling my friends off for putting them up too early. And it turns out that I'm actually the one who's wrong. So fuck it. I'm gonna go put my Christmas tree up when we finish this. I was gonna go to bed, but no, that's it. I'm gonna have to put my tree up.
I just have to say one little thing for it.
Absolutely.
And that's since you asked, what don't you get fed up with those? No, I think that the Christmas tree is the one thing I don't get fed up. I can look at that tree for months, but there is one thing I get very fed up with, and I don't know if you have it. Maybe in Denmark, it's some cookies that they start to sell here in October. It's like a kakeman, it's called. And it's like it looks like men, and they are white, and then you are like they are painting with like this red stuff. And for some reason, those start to irritate me after.
Yeah,
the look of them start to irritate me after a couple of a month or two.
Like gingerbread men.
Yeah, but they are just that they are thicker and they are white. And they're not even tasty. Like gingerbread man is at least tasty, but it's
so they're like, just flavorless cookies.
I think so. Sweet flavor, with some red ornaments on. So, yeah.
Oh, I can sympathize with that. That would annoy me too. I mean, and okay, so around here, people have a lot of like inflatable Santas and the whole sled and all the reindeer and Rudolph and all that stuff. And like I'm like, burn that shit to the ground. Let's just get rid of it.
I like a good Christmas tree, one that's done tastefully and is done because there's a difference. Like not all Christmas trees are equal. Like you get some that are just fucking horrible.
Did you see mine last year? I mean, that was a Franken tree. It was really ugly.
Oh, is it?
Oh, it was purposefully ugly.
Do you get a real one or is it an artificial one?
Oh, it's a real one. Yeah, I went to a really expensive place and bought one for $200 this time.
Oh, is that a?
Not quite sure why. Next year we'll go chop one down ourselves.
Yeah, we've always Shan's going nuts because the episode just extended by 10 minutes because I wanted to shout at you, and apparently turn out that I'm gonna have to do some soul searching after this because I'm the wrong one.
Shan hates his job.
All right, let's wrap it up. We can talk Christmas trees another time. So yeah, if you enjoy the show, please leave us a 5-star rating, a positive review. On iTunes is the best place. It helps us bump up the rankings. You can watch the episodes on YouTube, just at Nordic Mythology Podcast. Same at Nordic Mythology Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. You can join our Facebook group. If you want to get a little bit more involved, Patreon is the best way. We really do appreciate if you do support us on there. Helps us keep growing the show, helps us keep shining the job, let them keep shouting at us when we run over. But yeah, no, it really helps us keep growing, keep getting better. We have a bunch of different tiers, and you get a bonus episode each week. So we obviously record the main show, and alongside that, after the main show, we either do a Vikings watch along where me and Mathias sit down and watch an episode of Vikings and let you know our opinions, or we do a saga, a story time episode with Jonas Lorentzen comes on and is the narrator, and we go through one of the sagas, and they are really good fun. They are the storytime episodes alone are absolutely worth the Patreon money. They really are incredible. So I implore you just to try it out. Pop over onto Patreon, check it out for a month. Listen to those episodes. The full back catalogs on there. You can listen to them and you can get rid of them if you can cancel it. So no hassle if you want. But I guarantee you will really enjoy those episodes. Jonas is a special guy when it comes to narrating. He's got an array of different accents for all the different characters. He was something he was born to do, I think.
Mm-hmm. And also, yeah, it's just really important that you guys sign up for a Patreon because Dan is trying to retire early. So keep that in mind.
That's it. Yeah, I would like to. I would definitely like to retire early. Lindy, thank you very much. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. It was super fun.
I love these episodes where we don't necessarily stay on topic, but we just get to chat. People get to kind of listen into a conversation with you, which I think is more interesting sometimes than just answering the same questions that people have on a piece of paper and you're giving the same answers, I guess, that you...
It's been really fun. And we have been tapping into everything from Christmas tree to rainy places.
In my honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. This has been a great conversation.
Thank you. It has. Really.
Perfect. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and you're welcome back anytime. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.